Welcome back to One Guy, One Course, One Disc. We are here today in Dahlonega, Georgia, checking out the Yahoola Creek Park Disc Golf Course. So let's go take a look at the course. Hole 1 is a 180-foot par 3 that's going to go down 3 feet. It's a straight shot, but you do have this creek to clear, and it's 135 to clear. And once you finish hole 1, hole 2 will be to your right. Hole 2 is a 231-foot par 3. You have a mandatory left at 56 feet. And then you have a obstacle I've never had to deal with, and that is you have a bunch of guy wires you have to get through. They start at about 127 feet. But once you finish hole number 2, hole number 3 will be straight ahead of you and that little clearing on the other side of the road. Hole 3 is a 265-foot par 3. It's going to be about 130 feet to get to the turn, and then it's another 135 feet from there. Probably going to have to play either a low skip shot or a high stalling shot that finishes left if you want any chance to get close to this basket. You do have this stump right before the basket that's about 15 feet in front of the basket. But once you finish hole 3, hole 4 will be to your right, just below you. Hole 4 is a 255-foot par 3. It's wide open and straight ahead of you, so it should be very easy to get the par, and birdie's very manageable as well. But once you finish hole number 4, hole 5 is going to be ahead of you to the right. Hole 5 is a 266-foot par 3 that's going to go downhill 12 feet. If you try to go over the basketball courts, it's going to be about 150 feet to clear. And you're just going to need something that's hopefully going to stall out just on the other side of this little creek bed. If you want to go around the basketball courts to the left side, it's going to be 126 feet to the corner, and then from the corner it's 140 feet. Once you finish hole 5, hole 6 will be behind you. Hole 6 is a 284-foot par 3. It's going to go downhill 6 feet. It's basically a straight shot with a left finish. You can go a little straighter if you want, but you do have a low ceiling to contend with. So the out wide shot to the right is probably better and easier. But once you finish hole 6, hole 7 will be to your left. Hole 7 is a 265-foot par 3 that off the tee it's a little tight, but it really shouldn't affect your throw at all. And then it just opens up pretty wide all the way to the basket. There's really not much to contend with, although you do have this OB on the left side, and at the basket the OB is 25 feet from the basket. But once you finish hole 7, hole 8 will be to your right. Hole 8 is a 335-foot par 3 that's going to go downhill 3 feet. It is mainly a left to right shot to get around this baseball outfield fence. You do have to cross a walking path that's 255 feet off the tee, so just be careful of people walking up and down that path. But it's fairly open the whole way to the basket. You do have this one tree on the left side to contend with. But once you finish hole 8, hole 9 will be straight ahead of you. Hole 9 is a 209-foot par 3 that's going to go downhill 3 feet. It's 57 feet to this Mando left. And then from here, it's another 152 feet to the basket. You do have, from that Mando, 70 feet to this tree that's right in front of us. And then you do have this mound in front of the basket that's about 20 feet from the basket. But once you finish hole 9, hole 10 is going to be up the hill, and then just follow the path to get to hole 10. Hole 10 is a 295-foot par 3. It's a fairly straightforward shot. Just throw it straight and let it finish to the right. You do have to be a little careful if you're coming in too hot. It does play close to the creek, so if you get a bad skip, you might find yourself losing a disc. It is also very thick there around the basket, so be careful. And once you finish hole 10, hole 11 will be straight ahead of us. You'll pass hole 13's tee pad, and then you just keep walking to get to hole 11. Hole 11 is a 244-foot par 3 that goes pretty straight and has a slight turn to the left. It's definitely not as much of a turn as you think it is off the tee, but it's 148 feet to get to this skinny tree that's coming up here on the right, and then you just need a slight turn from there to get to the basket. You do have 2 guardian trees in front of the basket, which can make this approach a little more difficult. But once you finish hole 11, hole 12 will be off to the left ahead of us, kind of around that fence. Hole 12 is a 195-foot par 3. You do have a double Mando off the tee. and then it's fairly open the rest of the way to the basket until you get to the basket, because this basket does sit in a little circle of trees. You will see the skinny tree that's right in front of the basket. It is 10 feet before the basket. So just because you get within 25, 30 feet, you may have an obstructed putt with all these trees around it. But once you finish hole 12, hole 13 will be straight ahead of you down this skinny path. Hole 13 is the only par 4 on this course, coming in at 392 feet, but it also goes uphill 34 feet, so it will take well over 400 feet if you want to get there in one shot. It's about 300 feet to get to the landing zone, which is about 15 feet in front of this rock wall here on the ground on the right, and then it's going to turn to the right, and then you're going to go another 86 feet from right about here up 17 feet to get to the basket. It is perched up on this mound with a deep drop off the back. But once you finish hole 13, hole 14 will be behind us back down the hill. Hole 14 is a 369-foot par 3 that's going to go downhill 11 feet. It's 175 feet to get to the path that goes through the middle of the fairway. But the shot's pretty much a straight shot most of the way, and then it's going to turn to the left. It's just on the other side of this bridge that's right in front of us. You will see two baskets. The further basket is hole 7. The one here on the left is hole 14's basket. But once you finish hole 14, hole 15 is to the right. Hole 15 is a 291-foot par 3 that goes just dead straight. The only thing you really got to watch out for is the pathway with people walking up and down the path. But once you finish hole 15, hole 16 will be to your right. You're going to go past the bathroom area, and then you'll see it on the left just before you get to the bridge. Hole 16 is a 250-foot par 3 that's going to go downhill 3 feet. It does seem a lot more than that, but it does play to an elevated basket. But it's 175 feet to the tree here, which is really the big obstacle you have to avoid. But once you finish hole 16, hole 17 will be up the hill to the right, and then on the other side of the parking lot. Hole 17 is a 268-foot par 3 that's going to go uphill 24 feet. You're going to have to throw 144 feet, which is going to be to this kind of small little tree here in the fairway, and then it's going to take a sharp turn to the left where you're going to get most of your incline on this hole, and the basket is tucked away in these woods. There is a tree 30 feet before the basket, but once you finish hole 17, hole 18 will be behind us back down the hill, and you're going to cross the parking lot, and it will be right before the creek to the left of hole 1's tee pad. Hole 18 is a 386-foot par 3 you do have to cross the creek, which is 185 feet to clear. There is this basket here, which is 207 feet, which if there's activities going on the field, they ask that you play to that basket. But if you go to this far basket, it's 179 feet from that short basket. And once you finish hole 18, you'll find the parking lot behind you to the left, back across the bridge. Now that you've seen the course, let's take a look at today's disc. It's going to be the MVP Zenith. It is 11.5 minus 0.52. So let's see how it flies. Oh, I did not. Oh, gosh. Oh. Oh, that saved me. that was just awful. Oh, Josh. Of course, I hit the tree. So I thought I shot or threw a good shot off the tee. Turns out it turns up into the woods. So there's a parking lot if you go too far straight. Just be careful. Oh, that was awful. I don't even know what to do from here. Oh. So there you have the MVP Zenith at Yahoola Creek Park in Dahlonega, Georgia. As far as the disc goes, it's a great disc. I could throw it flat, it would go straight, finish left. So if you're a beginner, it may be a little too high of a speed. I think as you get a little bit better, it'll be a great disc to have. Probably once it beats in, you'll get a little turn out of it. Although there's probably lower speed discs that might be better where you'll get more distance. Obviously for advanced players, I think it'd be a great disc to put in your bag. As far as the course goes, the views are great. It's just in the base of the Georgia mountains. So you're starting to get kind of the mountainous terrain. Coming into Dahlonega, you can see the mountains in the background. So it's definitely good views for a disc golf course. However, the layout though is pretty bad. There's a lot of holes that are really close to each other. You're crossing a lot of footpath. There's a lot of people here just using the park. So you really got to be careful about hitting somebody. The layout also, I mean, there's two places where it crosses a river, but the bridges aren't close, so you kind of got to walk out of your way to get across the river, which isn't ideal either. The navigation in some spots is pretty tough. You will need udisc. especially the last few holes because they're kind of spread out. It's like they just put them in. I really think they can make this a great 9-hole course, lengthen some of the holes, put in some short tee pads. I think it'd be a great 9-hole course if they just took some time to kind of redesign it. I think the way it is now, it's just, it's very easy that someone could get hurt, which for me as a disc golf player, that's the last thing I want to do is see someone get hurt. But until next time, off to the next course.